Well, this certainly isn't your average Disney Cars diecast. No, this is Scott Tiller, the tilling machine. So welcome on back to the Cars Garage, everyone. Of course, we're going to be taking a look at this amazing, monstrous-sized deluxe diecast. It's just an absolute beauty, though. It's a really cool car, for sure. Probably one of my favorite cars, to be honest. And you know what's cool is that I got him for such a good price. For $4, I got him. I mean, that's just insane. And you know where I got him? The Dollarama. Now, if you may know, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you know that I recently found all of the NASCAR diecast from 2022 at Dollarama stores here in Canada. But, um, I used to actually find some pretty good stuff. I remember finding Courtney Bracken, the little, Lightning McQueen fan from Cars 2. It was actually a chase. I remember finding her at the Dollarama. I also found quite a lot of planes in, 2017 and 16, kind of when they weren't as popular. I remember finding a lot of planes. I didn't even buy them all. There were so many at some points. A lot of cool ones, too, which I actually regret not getting. But I remember finding Scott Tiller here, and this tractor back here, too, for that matter. The Thomasville tractor, I think it is, at least. Unless it's just a regular tractor, I don't know. But either way, it's a little different from the original one. But yeah, I remember finding these guys at the Dollarama in 2018. I think they originally came out in 2017, very late in the year, maybe November or something. They were still, in the Cars 3 diecast line, the main line for the movie, as it came out in 2017, in the summertime. Actually, it first came out on May 1st. But it wasn't really, the same main line. It was actually, had, a little tag on the bottom, and it says Radiator Springs Classics. So, I guess that's what it was. It was part of the Radiator Springs Classics line, which is a little series they started in 2013, basically just re-release the old cars from the first Cars movie. Not even necessarily Radiator Springs Townies, but just really any car they wanted. Then they started branching out and they did Tom Talk from Cars 2, a few other Cars 2 5-packs and stuff, and then in 2017 they decided to make it a Cars 3 thing as well. So we kind of got cars from every movie intertwined into the Radiator Springs Classics line. Somehow, Scott Tiller winded up in that line as well, which is just really weird. Doesn't really fit in that line because, of course, he doesn't actually appear in Radiator Springs, and technically neither does that tractor. If it is the same tractor, or unless maybe it is the same Radiator Springs tractor, I don't know. I always think of this one as the Thomasville tractor, though, from Cars 3, but I guess it is a little different from that original Radiator Springs one. So it could very well be that Thomasville one, but I guess we'll never know. Either way, Scott Tiller is a very cool car. Of course, he is a tiller. That is the type of a piece of machinery he is. Basically just meant to work up a field. Usually I do see tillers, because I have a lot of farm fields around where I live, but I gotta say, I've never actually seen a full-on tiller where, this piece of machinery, I guess he's really just a tractor. I guess he could probably be anything he wanted to be, any type of farming equipment. He probably just unhitched this part, and then he really could just be a normal tractor. But he's like a ginormous tractor. He's not sized perfectly, of course. He really shouldn't be this small next to a tractor. He should be towering over him. But of course, to fit him into a deluxe packaging, you have to scale him down a little. And he still is a very nice size, about the same size as Frank. We'll compare him to him if we can. I don't know. I can barely get Scott Tiller in the frame. Not sure I'm going to get Frank in here as well. And then Bessie later on. There's a lot of things I want to compare him to. It's just going to be a fun video. But anyways, like I said, yeah, I'm kind of about 6 years old now in 2023, and it's just nice to revisit him. It's been a while, and he's very forlorn. It's a car that I feel like not a lot of people have, not a lot of people think about. They may be wondering how in the heck I found him at the Dollarama. I have no idea. I really don't. Like I said, I found some pretty cool cars there back in the day. Don't really seem to anymore as much. That's why at the beginning of this year I was really shocked to find really any cars there at all, which was the NASCAR diecast, which they don't have anymore. Unfortunately, they're all sold out, which is expected. They can't have them forever. I wish I would have been able to get a few more, though. But wow, look at that cool expression and everything he has. The expression, actually, is a little off-putting, because in the movie we see him for a very brief second when McQueen and Mac are driving down the highway going to the Rusteze Racing Center, that little montage. That is where we see Scott Tiller at. But the expression on him makes him look like he's just a normal farmer. But there's a lot of speculation that Scott Tiller here actually is supposed to be some kind of animal. Because, every piece of farming equipment we've ever seen in the Cars world has always been, kind of turned into an animal, basically. Like Frank, the Combine, supposed to represent a bull. Same thing with actual bulldozers, also supposed to be bulls. And tractors, even in the Planes movies, they're supposed to be Well, sometimes they're deer in the Planes movies, but in the Cars movies, they're cows. I guess there's different types of tractors, and then snowmobiles can be reindeers in the Mater Saves Christmas book. So it just seems like a lot of like equipment that basically isn't a car, truck, or plane, or train, or boat for that matter, or even crane. Basically anything that's not those could be an animal. So that's what leads me to believe Scott Tiller may be an animal. But honestly, I don't think he is because of this expression. This expression looks like he's very much capable of being a normal car, or basically just a person, carified basically into a form of a vehicle. Just he's I don't know how to say it nicely, but he's not like an animal. He has more intelligence, I guess. But yeah, cool expression with the green eyes and everything. In the movie, I don't remember exactly how he looks. I don't know, do we even ever really see the front side of him? There's a few different Tillers that look the exact same, which I guess kind of leads to the point that he may be an animal, because if there's a bunch of them in the same field, like why does there need to be multiple of them? It kind of seems like a cow kind of situation where you just have a bunch of cows in a field, whereas these guys are all tilling up the field. They're actually doing work, kind of like a actual piece of farming equipment would. So it seems like you need a certain level of intelligence to do that. But then again, like who wants to be a tiller? You're confined to this giant body your entire life. How do you go down the road to the store to get some gas? How do you, I don't know, do they even have grocery stores in the world of cars? I don't know. How do you do anything, really, in the world of cars? A crazy world that Pixar has created if you're this giant piece of farming equipment. That's what I don't understand. Which leads me also, I guess, to kind of believe that he may be an animal. I don't know, there's a lot of factors going into it. Is he an animal? Is he not? Doesn't really matter, because this diecast looks just as cool either way. Giant grill, tiny little headlights. Don't really look like they colored them in or anything. I guess they're already yellow, so I guess I didn't really have to. I love his bright yellow paint job that he has. And all speckled with brown. It's very cool. He's all rusty. Or is that supposed to be dirt? I don't know. It's probably supposed to be dirt, because he is in the field, bound to get dirty. Doesn't really look like rust either. I don't know. Kind of hard to tell. Nice little smiling mouth. Like he is smiling. Animals can't really make facial expressions. But that might just be Mattel being clueless and not knowing that he's supposed to be an animal. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Like I said, a little bit of design on the side though makes me think like he's an older tiller. I guess it looks almost like a 80s, 70s design with like the greenish gray on the bottom, the red and the black. Pretty cool though. On this side, he does have a door still, which is kind of weird, but it's all like full of pipes, and there's his engine, I think. The pipe on the top, you can see. It's gonna be hard to show you guys because it's just an awkward shape. His wheels always like get in the way and everything, and his tiller, of course, which actually was when you get him in the package. This was actually a removable piece, but obviously now that I put it on, you can't really get it off. They even speckled the tiller though part. Really cool. The tiller does move. Very cool. I like that a lot. They did do a great job detailing him. That looks like rust back there, though. That doesn't really look like dirt to me. Same type of greenish red design with the black. I don't know what all this silver part is here, like a little triangle. I guess maybe that's to connect it. This is where it connects, though, at least the diecast. Nice silver, so he can't be that old because I feel like he'd be more rusty. He's not really all that rusty. Now, on this side, funny, he has a ladder to get up and like a little handlebar to pull yourself in. But there's no people getting inside of them, so why is that even there? I don't know. Why do cars in the world of cars have doors in the first place and handlebars? Who can open them? Who would want to open them? Can you open them? I don't know. You can't really see through their windows; they're always opaque. So many questions, so little answers that we have about the anatomy of cars and the world of cars in general. Nothing makes sense, but it's still pretty cool. I do love the world of cars, obviously. But anyways, I don't want to rat on the world of cars because it's a very creative world, and I love when Pixar clarifies it as much as they can. Sometimes they get a bit lazy, I guess. Like with this, like should there be a staircase? Should there be handlebars? No, but I guess it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But cool, ginormous rims, ginormous tires. Cool that they put the treads on them too. Very nice. I like that. That's actually really cool. Got 8 tires, 4 sets of them. 2 on each side, like connected to each other. Or 4 on each side, actually. And then, I don't know if these are just like colored orange or they're just rusty, his rims. Kind of hard to tell, but you can see the rivets, the giant rivet in the middle. It's absolutely massive. Nice amount of metal on this guy as well. He's not like completely plastic like you may think he is. This entire tiller section is All the wheel wells are plastic. And, well, like this gray part under here, his mouth, seems to be plastic, but this part you can feel it's cold to the touch, so it's obviously not plastic. So that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. Obviously, got some rubber elements as well and plastic elements. This is all like a soft, or like a hard rubber, I guess. Soft plastic, whatever it is. Looks cool though. I like this guy a lot. This is a cool car for sure. They did his windows. They're not plastic inserts. They're just part of his main metal body. He's even got a little visor, little hat on the top, which is pretty cool. That is a plastic piece. Two little lights on top, it looks like, or something. I don't know. Interesting. I never really reviewed a tiller before. In fact, I never really reviewed any kind of animalistic car other than really the snowmobile, I guess, and the Easter buggy. On the base, though, it'll be hard to show you. I can't really zoom in anymore. But it says Disney Pixar, made in China. There's his date stamp. What's that say? 1897? Huh, the 189th day of 2017. So yeah, very late in the year. Because he would have came out like months after that. And I don't know, that would have been, that sounds like the after the middle point of the year he was made. So I would say this may have actually came out in 2018. Hard to remember though. But there's his tiller. Really cool how it spins and everything. Nicely detailed. They didn't like detail it with dirt or anything. Understandable. I don't mind. Looks cool, but even I think his base. Yeah, his base is metal. Wow. I guess this mouth part is metal then. Feels like metal. It's cold. Is it? I don't know. It's hard to tell. I don't know. Quite a lot of metal on him though. I'm pretty surprised. Very nice. His hat is plastic. His tiller is plastic. Fenders are plastic. I think maybe the bottom is. It's hard to tell though. Looks really cool though. Can't complain. I don't even care plastic or metal as long as it's. I mean, it's nice to have some weight to it. Makes it feel, a little bit more sturdy and everything. Anyways, here is Frank. It's probably is one of his biggest competitors out there in the old farm field. He's absolutely massive too himself. But Frank's got some nice detailing on his like grinder upper. What would you call that? His harvester part? It's not really a tiller. Like Frank is meant. He's a different type of farming equipment. He's meant to harvest the fields. He's a combine harvester. Whereas Scott is meant to like work up the field at the end of the year. Get that crop off. How do cars even eat crops? That doesn't even make sense. Nothing about the Cars world makes sense. I really didn't think a review of Scott Tiller would have me asking so many questions about how the world of cars came to be, but it is. I don't know why. It's making me ask all these questions. Like I said, though, very hard to show these cars together in one setting because they're just both massive themselves. I love how detailed Frank is, though, from his harvester to his wheels. Very cool. He's got an angry expression. Like even if Scott is an animal, he's a very noble one. He's not some ruthless villain like Frank is. But anyways, I did bring in Bessie because she's a very similar color. Of course, Bessie's not alive though. She may be some sort of animal, I guess. I don't know which animal she's supposed to be. Obviously, Frank's a bull. I don't know what Bessie is. I mean, she's really not alive, but she definitely has some life to her. Like I feel like some of the way, it almost sounded like she was laughing. Like when she spilled that tar on McQueen in the first Cars movie when McQueen was doing the road. Sure, sounded like she was laughing. I don't know. Pixar characterized her a little bit more than maybe they should have. I like Bessie a lot. I mean, that's the thing. She's not really a character. But she's very kind of similar to Scott Tiller. Almost looks like he should be towing Bessie. But, yeah, we're definitely not going to be able to do that. We don't have enough room here on this table to do that. But anyways, I do have, of course, the tractor, like I showed you guys earlier. Good old Thomasville tractor. And obviously he's supposed to be a cow. But there's a nice look at like just to show you how big Scott is. A lot of people have at least one tractor, whether that be a Radiator Springs tractor, Thomasville tractor, a racing tractor. A lot of people have them, so they know the size. So there's a nice size comparison. About the same height, obviously not the same width at all. The thing is, though, that's sad about Scott Tiller is we're not really gonna get to see him ever again. I highly doubt it. I mean, if they wouldn't have canceled the deluxe line, I highly doubt they would have released him because he's just an obscure character. Obviously, he appears in the movie for like a second. I'm kidding, like, not kidding, a split second. Him and a bunch of other identical duplicates, basically. But yeah, it's just sad. We don't have a deluxe line anymore, so we probably won't see Scott Tiller. I guess before they wouldn't have canceled it, we would have still had a chance. But oh well. Hopefully, we'll still get Frank in some way, or even like big characters like Max Semi, Bessie. Really any character. There's a lot of deluxes that could use re-releasing. Miss Fritter, of course. But anyways, what a cool character. What a cool design, cool model. It's absolutely massive. Probably the biggest car I've ever reviewed. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time on the Cars Garage.